Hi there again. In this video I'll be showing you how I prepare my paintings prior to modelling my work in the greys, which is known as grisaille, and that is done before I use the top pure colours. You want to start by preparing your layout on the canvas in a permanent Indian ink. Use washes and lines to create your shadows and your shapes, and make sure it's permanent ink. If it's not, it will pick up and make a mess when you lay down the colour ground containing turpentine and spirit. And you don't want to paint big globs of ink onto your canvas. Create it in thin washes. Now there's a hack. If you find that your Indian ink is not quite permanent, you can fix it by using hairspray, which contains a shellac. And the shellac will fix the molecules, it will fix down the Indian ink long enough for you to overpaint with your coloured ground. It sounds a bit weird, but I've seen it done and it works. So next you're going to prepare to put the ground on. Take a piece of cloth, a nice soft piece of cotton cloth, not nylon or anything like that, and ball it up into a nice little round shape so that it can, you can use it soft to buffer the ground afterwards. So get that prepared. Get any dust off your painting. You don't want any dust on it. What you're going to do is you're going to mix up some pigment, whichever colour you use. I mean, for this one, I've used a burnt sienna with a burnt umber, but you can use like a green umber, or you could use yellow ochre. It's on your choice, but for this particular portrait, I needed a warm bisque colour, so it'd be like burnt sienna and raw umber. So you take your pigments into a little container and you dilute it with turpentine, and dilute it until it's like a single cream consistency. Get any lumps out, want it smooth as possible. How much to mix up? It depends on the size of your painting. It's always best to make too much than too little. So once you've done that, and I've shown you the wrong bottle here, you put in Damar varnish. I've shown you the jar that says medium, and I've got that on the table and I just picked up the wrong one. So you put a few drops of Damar varnish into that mixture. Then you start by coating it backwards and forwards, getting it all even. I'm using a small little brush here, but really you should really use a good big thick glazing brush, but I didn't have one, and I'm pretty expert at doing glazing, so I feel confident using a small brush. But for beginners, get one of those flat wash brushes, those wide ones that are like 2-3 inches wide, sometimes more. You get 5 or 6 inches ones, and just float your brush across the painting, not hard, just float it across. Have your painting tilted on an angle like I just did, and you want that's to help it flow down a little bit, and just go backwards and forwards from one end of the painting to the other. You don't want to just start one side, turn it around and do another side, because you want to be painting into a layer of paint that's not dried yet, because this has got Damar varnish in it. It's going to dry really fast, and you don't want streaks on your painting, so you have to move quickly. And once you start it, you have to commit until you finish it. You have to commit until you finish the colour across the whole painting. You can't stop and mix up, answer the phone and come back to it, because it'll just harden and streak when you try and paint over it. So just go all in there. That's why I said you need a lot of paint, because if you run out halfway across your picture, it's a bit of a disaster. So you just make up more than you need if you're not unsure how much you need. So you go backwards and forwards with and float your brush. That means gently tilt your brush sideways and run it across the painting crossways, and then down, drawing the paint downwards onto your next layer below, yeah, until you got it all covered like that. I've done this so many times. I've pretty got it down to how much I need. I think in this video I had just enough. I just scraped the last of that pigment out. I could have run out, but this, you know, I pretty much got it down pat how much I need. So yeah, and this is this color ground serves two purposes. It tints your painting into the background color you want, this nice warm color I need for this portrait. And a secondary reason, when you do your grisaille, instead of starting your greys on a white glaring background, it gives you a mid-tone, a midway between grey, light and dark, to start your greys. So you can go up to your high colours of white, pale colours, or you can go down to more deeper dark colours. It's a midway point for your grisaille painting. Traditionally, this umber and the sienna colours were the background colours in certain types of painting and Flemish painting. This was very popular. You can use different for this lady's skin tone. I think this is perfect. For more pale people's skin tones, you would do a more green, more of a greenish umber, because on paler skins, white skins, the shadows tend to show up more greenish, cooler, and on darker skins the shadows are more warm. So now I'm just doing the edges because I like to display my artwork without frames, so I usually continue around my edges so that the painting is complete. So there you have it. I've just finished that. Now what you're going to need to do shortly afterwards, you take your cloth, that's it, and you're going to apply it onto the canvas surface and in little circles. Yeah, make sure there's no seams in the cloth, and just wipe round, buffer it. What do they call it? Buffering it. We're wiping off the surface, the surplus of that paint, and you see it's already tinted it in that short time. It's already gone into the canvas, so it smooths out all the lines. Yeah, and it takes off the surface of that. You want it as flat as possible. And for some reason, if you found out you hadn't done it as dark, you mixed up your mixture too thin, right? That's no problem. You wait until it dries and you apply a second coat. Well, I'm quite happy with this coat here. I'm going to let that go. I don't need it any more darker or richer. So yeah, but don't apply it straight away because it'll streak. Wait until it's thoroughly dry if you decide to put another coat on it. So there you go. And the next video I'll be starting to do the grisaille painting on top of this this drawing with the colour ground on it. So yep. See you in the next one. Bye.